Hello, friends. So it's once again that time of year. We are preparing to butcher our chickens. This is the last butcher of the year. We're actually going to do some ducks as well. We've got 4, maybe 5. I don't know. I don't know how many drakes I'm going to keep. But we have at least 4 drakes that we're going to be butchering tomorrow. And we're also going to butcher the rest of my meat bird experiment. It's been so long. I know I've been talking about this for what seems like 2 years, but it's been a few months, yeah, since they hatched out. So to bring you back, the meat birds that I hatched out were hen raised. So I started them in my incubator, and I had broody hens who were just desperate for babies. And they were really kind of not very good about sitting on their own eggs. Like, other hens would come in and they'd disrupt them, and they'd make them get off the nest, and they'd lay their own eggs in there. And even though I marked the eggs that I had in there, they were just getting trampled, and it wasn't good. So what I did was I brought the 2 hens into my sunroom, which is kind of like our barn, and I put them in broody boxes. And I did that the day before my eggs were going to be in lockdown. So they had time to settle. I gave them some fake eggs, and they had time to settle down. And I actually had 3 at the first time, and only 2 stayed. Only 2 decided that they were still going to be broody. So as my day came for locking down my eggs, I moved all of the eggs from in my incubator underneath the hens, because I wanted them to hatch these out and raise them. And out of the eggs, I think I probably had like a 90% hatch rate. I probably had like 30 birds. A few of them died in the beginning, like normal, but for the most part, as soon as those birds were hatched and they were pecking on different food, and they were eating on their own, and they were drinking water, and being taken really good care of by the hens, the hens wanted to go outside. They were just super, and so I would let them out, and I had them in a fence along with my meat birds, and they made it very clear that they did not want to be in there. So they just went back into their normal coop, and the chicks were with their moms for probably 2 or 3 weeks, and then the chicks went feral. They just went completely wild, and they took off, and they lived in the pig pen with my pig Karen, and they just decided they were just gonna go and free range in the woods. So I probably have input into them maybe $100, because of how much feed that they hardly ate any feed, but they were entirely on their own. They would go and scratch through Karen's poop. They would go into the woods. They would get everything for themselves. They haven't really fed at the feeders. And so now kind of trying to coax them so that they can be in a place where I can catch them is going to be quite difficult. The majority of them do go into the coops at night now that it's starting to get cold. There's still a few holdouts that are in the woods. So I'm going to try to take you along with tonight as we gather the flock and get them all into one coop, so that tomorrow morning we're going to just keep the door shut, and I'm going to put them into a dog crate, and it's going to be super easy. The same with the ducks. We're just going to get them all into their coops, shut the door, and not let them out in the morning. And we might have to go hunting for a few of the roosters in different coops, because I kind of just let them go where they want to go right now. We have a string of electric netting that goes around our property, and it is open to the back of the property where they can kind of go out and roam that way, but it's not open to where our neighbors live, because they were going on their property and causing some trouble. So we're trying to be good neighbors, and they forage out in the back of our property. We haven't lost any to hawks. We haven't lost any to sickness. They've been super healthy, super free range. Like, these are 100% organic free range chickens. And I'm super excited to finally get to see what exactly it is that they're going to look like dressed, because they look great. So I've got the butchering set up almost done. I'm still working on it, but I wanted to show you kind of what we got here. We are doing it right close to the house. We are very lucky. This house came with a hot and a cold spigot, and that water comes out at 156 degrees. It is literally perfect for butchering. We are butchering some ducks today, so I'm going to get some Dawn dishwashing soap, and we are going to put that in one of those buckets there to dip the ducks in. And I have a table here. We're just right in our driveway right now. Normally we do it in the backyard, but we want to be close to the water source because we're not going to turn on a burner or anything. We always find that we get the most inconsistent temperatures when we try to do too much. So we have our Yardbird plucker. It's been doing great. We've had it for a couple years now. And this is just the setup. It's very simple. I have a tote here for odds and sods, feathers, whatever. A bucket for guts. And I will take you to our killing tree. It's very appropriate. This is also our biggest maple tree. And so we hung our cone here, and we actually feed the blood that we get from our chickens to the tree. We dilute it and pour it around the roots. So we have, I know it's a little bit farther than, it's a bit of a farther walk, but honestly we need the exercise. So here's the cone that we kill, bucket. The animals right now are in the coops, and shortly, once the kids and my husband come out, we're gonna take this crate and we're gonna go load everybody up in that crate. So then I will come back when I don't know if we can catch the chaos on tape, but it'd be kind of fun to do that. I have one rooster that was from the crazies, from the velociraptor pack, that's still running around here. He's completely impossible to catch. He roosts in the trees. I've been trying to catch him for a while. There's also one hen that hangs out with him, so I guess they'll just be running around the property. But for the most part, with the exception of also one of the Bielefelder roosters, when I went in to get the roosters last night, I think I might have grabbed a hen, because I did grab a Bielefelder and I only have 3 of them. So I was going to keep one hen and one rooster. But I might have actually mistakenly grabbed the hen. So we'll see. Either that or he escaped during the incarceration of the ducks. So I honestly would not be surprised if he did, because that was pretty chaotic. He yeeted out of there. Ducks! They can sense something's going on. Their buddies are in there. Ugh. Ducks are more bonded than chickens for sure. They like their buddies. Yeah, you don't want to watch this, guys. Come on, move along. Move along. Move along. I'm going to try to block most of these guys off. I really don't want them to come and see that. Put my hair back so you know I'm serious. So what I have to do now is I have to take this dog crate and I'm going to pull that into the chicken coop. And I'm going to go into the coops. And what I normally do with these big boys is I either tie their legs together or rubber band them so they can't get out of the way. It's the first time I'm going to use rubber bands, so we'll see how it works. But they go into this cage and they have their they go into this, and then they have their legs tied so that when we open the door, they can't really, if they get out, they can't really get very far. So I have to do this, get it into there so that we can get them out. Well, one of the ducks got a stay of execution. Gordon pardoned him, and whenever Gordon decides that he wants to pardon an animal, it's done because he doesn't like many of them. So here we are. They're in the cage. They're gonna go right to the killing cone. You can't see that. Hold on. So they're in the kennel. They've got their feet tied. Most of them do anyway. Some of them have gotten out of it already, but it was mostly just to get them out of there. The ducks are super happy that they got their buddy back. I think that's who they were waiting for. And now we're gonna start the process. We do have one hen in here, and she's been very troublesome. She's just never stayed in the coop, and if she's not laying eggs for me, then she has no purpose other than to feed me. So, you ready for this? All right, Gordon is on killing cone duty, and I am everything else. So, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna get the bucket ready to go to dip. We want to do ducks first since they take longer? Okay.
Process is just the same, right?
Yes. They just take longer because the plucker, you gotta pluck and then dip and then pluck and then dip.
Yeah.
So we'll get that process going. Okay, let me get the, yeah, sounds good. Gotta get the duck bucket ready. Oh, this is not good with just one hand. All right, I gotta put you down. So with duck, you want to add soap because their feathers have an oil in them that repels water, so it will not do the same thing like a chicken. So you have to put some like Dawn in there in order to work okay. Deed is done. Just put them in the bucket. Well, you're all right. So we've got duck, bucket, and they have to soak a little bit longer, and you kind of have to dink them like a tea bag. We got them in the water that is about 150 some degrees. You might have to take them out and kind of give them a little scrubby scrub to get that Dawn under their feathers so that their feathers come out. But ducks need a lot longer than chickens do. So hold on, I can't do this one-handed. Okay, that did take a while, but we got him nice and plucked out. There are a few feathers that I'll probably go through right before we bag and get rid of those. I'll do like a secondary pluck once we get into the house. But for now, just gonna gut him out and get him in the cold water to start cooling down. You good?
Yeah.
All right, so this was a Cornish cross and a white rock, and it was really beautiful.
Not a Cornish cross. Cornish.
No, dark Cornish, yeah, thanks. Dark Cornish and white rock, and his color pattern ended up really beautiful. And so let's see what he looks like underneath. Stop doing that. You're supposed to be my filmer, dude.
Cameraman.
Cameraman. All right. Pause it. All right. So this one's not quite done. He's got a couple more feathers left, but oh, he's a beauty. Look at this one. Look at this guy.
I'm filming.
Nice long legs. Really nice breast size for a Herritage.
I want one of
style
those
breed.
legs.
You want one of those yummy legs, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna clean up a little bit here. Okay, you can pause now.
No, I thought this worked quiet.
Okay.
Okay, come over here. The one that Dad is dunking is Cornelius. He's our dark Cornish rooster. He's the daddy of all of these guys.
And he attacked me.
Yeah, so
He attacked a 7-year-old.
So he's gonna be Lachlan's yummy dinner, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm eating one of those legs. Revenge on Corny.
Just pull the thigh. Yeah. Yep, it's good.
Pretty sure I was 6 when he attacked me. Mm.
There was two of them, remember?
Oh yeah, there was two of them.
Yeah, the first one started attacking you when you were a little bit younger, I think.
It's hard to hear you.
We put the first one in the freezer and you ate him a long time ago.
Oh. These pants are a little short for me. One crock, one tuna. So I can eat them.
You're gonna eat a hawk? The heart of a hawk. The heart of a hawk.
No, I'm just gonna put.
Can you pause?
I'm just gonna. Okay, it's filming.
So I popped the bile sac. So that green stuff right there,
Yeah.
that's the bile sac. I was trying to get the liver off in one piece.
What's a bile sac?
So you wanna, whenever that happens, you gotta take this off and you gotta clean it because this shit is gross.
It is?
Yes.
Why?
It's very bitter.
What does that mean?
You know, every time, have you ever thrown up before? And like, once you're done throwing up, you're just like, you have like the dry heaves.
Yeah.
That stuff that comes up, that's bile, and it tastes very bitter and gross. Right?
Oh.
And then you gotta clean your knife. Make sure all of that is clean, because you definitely don't want that on your bird. So here's the. Which one was it? This was the white one.
Yeah.
This was the white one.
It's very cold out here.
Here's Cornelius.
The chicken who attacked me. We had two Corneliuses. One was the first one we butchered first because that one also attacked me.
Yeah, we butchered him because he attacked you.
Yeah, we butchered him because he attacked me, and I think the same reason for this one. No, I don't remember this one.
Well, he started
attacking me.
to, but
Yeah.
but you challenged him and you won the challenge. So
Yeah,
he didn't come after you.
He almost did, but then I turned around before he could, and then I took a little kick at him.
So, but we kept him with the goats for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So that he would leave you alone.
Yep.
Okay, we're finally done. It took a little bit longer. The ducks took quite a while. It was probably like 4 times the amount of time that it usually takes like a chicken because it just takes so long to pluck them out.
I want to film.
Not right now. I had a little buddy who really wanted to film, but I'm doing a part, but I'll let him film later. It was really cute when he was filming. So anyway, the ducks, they did take a while to pluck out, but they came out for the most part really clean. We'd done ducks last year, and we caught them in the absolute wrong time. It was right when they started molting we did jumbo pecans, and it was right when they started molting, and they were just covered in pin feathers. And we just gave up. We're like, well, we'll just cook it and then take the skin off. And, you know, we wanted to save all that really good duck fat. So that's what we ended up doing. But right now, these plucked out pretty good. Let me show you what they look like. So this one was these are just hatched. Honestly, these two were mixtures of Ancona and Silver Apple Yard. And this one was a pekin and a Silver Apple and an Ancona. So this one was mostly white, and it plucked out really nice. And this is our biggest one. We have another big one that Gordon saved. But yeah, this one, it's got a few little more feathers that I'm going to go through and finish off and get some on the wings. But this one's pretty much done. And then we have the big birds, the chickens. And I'm going to just weigh a couple of them right now just so that we can get an idea of how big they were. I'm not going to do grams because you guys won't get what that is. All right, pounds. So this one, I think this one was our biggest. This was our dark Cornish rooster. This is Daddy. So what's Daddy weigh out at? Okay, Daddy weighs out at 4 pounds, 11 ounces. All right. 4 pounds, 3 ounces. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. 312. So our little hen, she's gonna be tiny. 3 pounds, 2 ounces. 3 pounds, 12 ounces. 3.7. And this one's good. Got some good meat on it. 4.2. So between 3 and 4 pounds. No 5-pounders or anything like that, but I'm really happy with the way these look. Here, let me show you a couple of them. It's got really good breast meat. I mean, not compared to a Cornish. We're not comparing Cornish cross. I should remind everyone, we are not comparing these with Cornish cross. The goal of this is to produce a sustainable, super tasty bird that we can grow out with minimal effort and have on our farm. And I feel like we really accomplished that. Like I said before, we have had hardly any input into these guys. Maybe a couple of bags of feed in the very beginning when they would come and nibble with their mamas. But other than that, they were off in the woods foraging. I hardly ever saw them. They hung out in the goat pen or the pig pen. They started out in the pig pen and they would scratch and they would go after the pig and they'd scratch in her manure and they'd eat there, and they would never come into the yard and eat from the chicken's feed, because I feed the chickens what they need, especially in the summer. My feed is just really a supplement because they're off free ranging and foraging. But I hardly ever saw these guys in the yard. It was only probably in the last couple of weeks, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have to grab these guys, that they started coming back into the chicken. They started coming into the chicken coops, and started staying in there at night because it was cold out. So they were starting to join the ducks, actually, because we moved the rest of the chickens back into their new pen. So for what I have into them, which is hardly anything, the eggs were free because I hatched my own. They probably have had a couple of bags of feed at the most. So $40 into all of these guys. That you spend more than that just buying the chicks for the Cornish cross. Not everybody can do this. Not everybody is going to have chickens that really just go away and they just take care of themselves and they come back and you can butcher them. And I don't know if we're going to get this again, but we're going to try this next year. I really enjoyed the fact that the hens raised them. They were a lot more feral that way. They didn't come up to me and like love on me like my hens do. But I was okay with that because I was going to end up eating them anyway. So, yeah, this was a good success. I really enjoyed this. Especially since, the input in is so minimal that it really makes a lot of sense. It's kind of the same with, well, the ducks are another story. Man, these guys eat. Let me see these. I haven't weighed these guys yet. Let's do that. Now, this guy has got his feet on him, and we're not going to eat the feet, but it's whatever. There's no way that this guy's only 3 pounds. Hold on. I might have to figure this out. Okay, it was 6'4" before it turned off. He's a big boy. He feels about the size of my cat or my dog. But man, these guys eat. This is really why we had to butcher them. The drakes that I hatched out, they were so bonded together with the ducks, but they were just ravenous monsters, eat you out of house and home. The ducks are like that. They will just eat and eat and eat. So you got to be really careful about how much you feed them, because they're like pigs. They'll come back. They'll act like they're absolutely starving, but they forage a lot for themselves. And we have a couple of ducks that are actually pretty overfed, but I'm okay with that for the winter. We'll see how they do this winter. They're going to be totally fine. But yeah, there's a couple more drakes. Gordon pardoned one, so I'm thinking, are we going to have to butcher the other drake? I don't know, but I got to get these bagged up, get them in the fridge, and let them rest. I'm going to let the ducks actually rest and hang out, because these guys are, oh no, they're not that old. They're about the same age as the chickens. Yeah, These guys are probably about 20 weeks old. We hatched these guys in May, same time as we hatched the roosters. So they should be pretty tender. But I'm going to let them hang out in the fridge. We're going to let the roosters hang out in the fridge for 3 days. We're going to let the ducks hang out until Thanksgiving. And we're going to roast maybe 1 or 2 because we have some family coming from Fargo. So we might roast 1, we might roast 2, we might roast all 3. I don't know. But they're going to be freaking delicious and I can't wait to try them. I'll bring you back when we cook them up and eat some of them. Especially for the taste test, I'll actually probably do a couple of different birds to see which ones, how they're tasting. And we'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.